do? So I get it. So you think I'm being too hard on him? Do you actually think we have, there's a difference in the political parties?
There's very little difference. In the major political parties, I mean, this year they're making it look like a difference with a lot of buffoonery, but there's not a lot of difference.
Well, I do see a difference this year in the fact that none of the establishment candidates are up there.
Or what?
The establishment candidates. I mean, you've seen the anti-establishment candidates. I mean, you got Sanders on the left.
All the candidates. I've been political since I've been 12. What are you saying about the establishment people?
Well, they're being rejected mostly by the people.
That's right. Either on the right or left or anywhere in between, they're being rejected. That's a really good thing. That's a wonderful thing.
I think so.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But there's always a question of what will rise, and the states were so well protected by a long history of, lack of demagoguery, really. We always have demagogues, but they don't rule. They don't rule. Not like in Europe and in other eras past.
Yeah.
So I don't fear that kind of thing, but I think that Donald is a buffoon. I think Jeb Bush is a total buffoon. There's a lot of buffoonery, and I have no real affection for that political family because of a lot of the compromises they made, and they're cynics and they're thieves. So it's very tough to be political. The only guy I look to is Sanders. I see with some authenticity. Had the same message for 30 years. I think his ideas are very good. Whether you can ever get anything done in the kind of country that we have, where the money rules so much of the political process, probably not.
You believe in socialism?
Pretty much, yeah.
Where has it ever worked?
Well, it never works because there's always the forces opposing socialism.
Well, let's pick out.
Okay, Canada. Okay, here's my example. In Canada, socialism works real well. I got a place up there. I lived there 15 years. Socialism in Canada works very, very well for them. Now, they don't have to support an army and all of that to defend themselves because they're naturally defended on every area. Southern boundary by the U.S., everything was by ocean and Arctic Circle, So they don't have that in their history. But what they've done with that freedom could just as easily still just look like a copy of America with more rich people. Instead, they chose socialism and have definitely allowed the wealth that's generated by their country. There's only 25 million people up there, okay?
Yeah.
80% of them live within 50 miles of the U.S. border. Okay? And they have tremendous resources, but they have chosen to share those resources in a way that when you're up there,
so
they want to assume they're going to get health care, and they do, and they get any script that they ever need for $2 or less. And
Isn't your economy kind of like on the tank right now, though?
Well, it is, because what happened was when Harper went in, and Harper was a very good friend of the Bush ideal and the Bush family. And when he went in, he put through a kind of center-right social agenda. But as far as the economic agenda, it was pretty strongly based. He moved all the resources to oil-based, for one thing, restarted developing oil. And number two, he put a lot more money in the hands of people who could invest their country's resources in a more collective way. When they did that, they focused on they had tremendous growth, parity with the United States, but all the money was going to the top. He was following a different model.
Now you say
so they're kind of, to finish my answer, the economy does go up and down. And when oil went down and Harper then went out because he had disinvested money more away, and now they're losing money. But all the oil now was ever created this huge boom, shut down, and property values skyrocketed in the cities and stuff because of the lack of all that happened. Then Harper was done. Now they've got Trudeau's son. He's just a kid. What does he know? But he does have a progressive idea. I believe that progressive politics, especially in Canada, always work for them in the long run because they're investing in their people and everyone rises. Now it's a simpler model than the United States. We got tremendous other forces from all over.
You have dual citizenship?
I don't. My brother does, but I do not. They wouldn't let me be a citizen because I was too old.
You say you support Sanders' policies.
I do. Well, he doesn't have a lot of policy. He's got an idea.
Yeah, well,
he wants a revolution.
Well, indeed. Well, there's some of the things that Sanders wants also Trump wants.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, they will both want the audit the Fed. They both want to end the TPP and the free trade.
I'm with you, but I think that a guy like Sanders, he's got 30 years of saying the same message, and he's got policy to back it up, and bills he's written and supported to back it up for 30 years. Whereas Trump's been a businessman, and I know his business pretty well. It's a branding business. There's a lot of buffoonery. There's a lot of chicanery. He's supported all parties. He's done all things you would do to make it to the top in a capitalistic, highly influenced political system. Now for him to come out and say, well, let me show you what's wrong. Well, yeah, he knows what's wrong. And he's right in many ways like Sanders is. But he's not true to the mark of going to change anything significantly for people.
I would look at, I'm looking at
he has
this.
no record of doing so. He has no record of ever doing so. So then it becomes a matter of trust. And that's what this whole campaign is. Trust me, I will make it awesome. I will make it great.
Yeah.
But he gives he has no history of doing so in a public sector at all. He has no history
Well,
of treating
actually,
workers well.
he has called out, if you go years back, many of the things that are wrong today, he called out years ago.
That is true, but that's pretty easy to do. That's pretty easy to do.
Just recently, in January of this year, he called Brussels a hellhole.
But everybody knows that. If you've ever been there, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that Europe is unprotected.
At the time
and
he
soft.
said it,
unprotected and soft.
At the time he said it, they condemned him.
Well, of course, they, being the establishment, would condemn him. But a guy like me wouldn't.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. No, he's Trump. He's right on a lot of things. It's just he has no consistent history of ever doing anything in the political
Well, I'm looking
arena.
at if he does.
I think he's a big question mark at best, and he could be a disaster.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be good or bad, but I look at it this. The anger right now is so palatable in this country that if he does not come through with the promises he said he would do, there will be a revolution.
I hear you. My wife's asked me to go.
All right.
He's very interesting to talk to.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, well informed.
Right.
And I hope that if Trump gets any power, that he does something good with it.
Yeah, indeed. That's all we can hope for.